over. So I'm going to have any comments from the board or the superintendent.
Of Black School Educators and the Commission on the Southeast Community Facility Commission and co-founder of the Friends of Bayview Public Schools. I also grew up in Bayview. I am now a homeowner. I also went to school, all of my school years right here in San Francisco Unified School District. So I'm here today to say no to more charter schools in our city, no to more charter schools in the Bayview-Hunters Point community, and yes to holding charter schools accountable to the same standards as our traditional public schools. I am totally for parent choice in selecting a school. What I'm not for is a group of strangers called Innovate coming into our community, pitting indigenous families and community members against one another, and using the name of our community treasures such as Mary L. Booker. I was told that the selection of her name was a community process, yet I saw no flyers. I saw nothing on Facebook, which is one of their main and favorite communication tools, or any communications about a meeting. And I am in the know in the Bayview. When I heard about a school opening in the name of Mary L. Booker, it was a done deal. Is it an art school? A pipeline to soda? No. Is it a social justice school like another school in our district, June Jordan? No, not what I've seen. Not what I've seen written on web pages or any other paper documents. To the family members of Mary L. Booker, we mean no disrespect at all. But let's do this right. Let's honor the life of Mary L. Booker by creating performance art academies in our Bayview schools, a pipeline from elementary school through high school that is focused on social justice performances. Board commissioners, I urge you to join us in this. Create policies that hold these schools, charter schools, accountable. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Nancy Hernandez and I work at the Good Samaritan Family Resource Center. I'm an advocate. Ever since I was in high school, I've been coming to meetings in this room and talking about what the needs are of the high school students or the middle school students. I currently work with 6 through 14-year-olds within the San Francisco Unified School District. And I hear all of the parents that I heard speak, like I hear you. Every parent that I heard speak said that they want our kids to have access to what they need. Every parent here that spoke said that all of our kids should see college as a reality in their future. Parents said that there need to be bilingual tutors that are working with young people who speak English and Spanish here in this district, and I agree with everything I've heard. The thing that I am here to say right now is that charter schools are not the way for us to improve the conditions of the young people in our communities. I have read Innovate's material. I've seen them coming around the school neighborhoods and doing flyering, and we've asked them, like, where are you from? Where did you come from? And what are you doing? And they're saying, well, I'm not from here. I just flew here from North Carolina, or I just got here from Nevada. But I really feel like the schools here are horrible and terrible, and we need to do something about it. And so I feel that. I feel that they want to come make improvements. We also want to make improvements. But if the improvement comes at the detriment of students at the SF Unified School District, we cannot stand for that. I want to have improvements for all students in the school district and all the kids that grow up in Frisco. Giving the control of our education system to a private corporation is not going to do that. Yes, those schools are a little more strict, and maybe some of those schools do provide different things, but with the strictness and the militancy that we are seeing in those schools is scary. Their ability of they're choosing to call the cops and they're choosing to bring in the securities in the way that they have is scary. And so the social justice school that I currently teach at is called June Jordan. This is my 4th year teaching at that school. In that school, we are creating creative thinkers. We are developing innovators, and we are teaching young people how to think for themselves. Corporate schools do not give us the capacity as teachers to teach young people to be critical thinkers. What they are trying to produce is low-wage workers and people who are easy to control. And so this school district needs to stand up for the right for young people to think for ourselves and take action and not just follow commands and not just be obedient. And so I want to advocate for our district to stand strong and hold the buildings that we currently have. Willie Brown is a treasure, and it needs to be cultivated. The young people who go to that school are brilliant and precious. And we cannot give that space to a corporation and assume that they will take care of our children. San Francisco Unified School District needs to stand strong and control Malcom X and make sure that Malcom X is given everything that it needs to succeed in this school district. We cannot give up that school to a corporation and expect them to do the service that we need for our schools. So please stand strong and help these schools to get everything that they need as Unified School District. And to all the parents who are here mobilizing, on whatever side you're on, I appreciate you standing up for your kids. And I feel like we all need to go home and do a little bit more research about what the charter schools really do, what the charter schools are really like, and what improvements can we personally do to help the youth of Bayview and the Mission and all the places that we're at. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mike Hutchinson, and I'm a proud graduate of Oakland Public Schools. I have an organization in Oakland called Oakland Public Education Network, and we're members of the Journey for Justice National Alliance, a national alliance of black and brown-led grassroots organizations fighting for educational justice across the country. We stand in solidarity with both the NAACP and Black Lives Matter in calling for a moratorium on charter schools. It's really important that people understand what's going on. I was brought out today, or asked to come today, not only to show support for the community here in San Francisco, but also tell a cautionary tale of Oakland. I'm born and raised in Oakland. And as Superintendent Matthews knows, Oakland was taken over by the state. And when Oakland was under state receivership, we saw charter schools placed all through our community. Right now, Oakland has 42 charter schools, 30% of our schools, the highest rate in California. Of those 42 schools, 40 of them are below 580. If you know Oakland at all, you know what it means to be placed below 580. That's in a low-income community of color. If charter schools were better, they'd be in the hills in Oakland. But instead, the opposite has happened. The hills have been able to fight off charter schools, and they've only been placed in our neighborhoods. And this has followed the same colonial pattern that charter schools have used across the country. Whether it's Detroit, Chicago, DC, Philadelphia, New Orleans, Oakland, and now San Francisco. So I encourage the school board, schools have never served our communities like they should. And many of these families connected to charter schools, they have a good point. We need better.
The UESF echoes many of the former speakers, which is that we stand here together, all parents, all educators, with the best intentions to raise up the children of all schools, but particularly those in the Bayview. But we know now, 15, 20 years after charter schools have descended on our state and our country like a plague, that we need public control of our public schools. And since your own budget book said 2008 there were 2,300 kids in charter schools. That number has tripled. That means a loss of millions of dollars every single year to our public schools. And I want to commend the Board of Education, the staff. The staff has made a proper recommendation based on our understanding of history has been tried to be written by corporate America. Stand up for public education, stand up for the kids, stand up for accountability, and please support the staff recommendation.
As we see tonight, this is becoming more of a regular process. Charters are coming into our district and they're demanding space in our schools. While we have been learning about charters, what I've also been learning is that they are taking public dollars, but they're not doing the same things that our schools are doing. And they're not held to the same requirements that our schools are held to. I've learned that charters are not required to offer free and reduced lunch. They don't have to report the students that are pushed out of their schools. They don't many of them don't serve newcomers, students with special needs, or homeless students. They don't have to hire credentialed teachers, and in many cases they don't really follow due process laws. For example, KIPP Bay Area, there's data that shows that 60% of students between their 5th grade year and their 8th grade year leave KIPP. That's a 60% attrition rate. That means only 40% make it all the way through. Based on their own data, they have a 2 times higher suspension rate for black and brown students and a 0% expulsion rate. That makes no sense, right? And yet they refuse to provide the district with data explaining who their students are that are leaving their schools, whether they're students that have learning needs or whether they're students with disabilities or newcomers. And so I'm standing up here to ask, there's much more that, I know that our district is constrained in many ways by state law, but there's much more that we could do as a district to hold all charters accountable, or at least make it visible, the differences. Because we also know that not all charters operate this way. Some charters have unions, some charters make an effort to meet the needs of special needs students, but that is very opaque for many families, and they may believe that they're going to a public school, and they may not know that they are not guaranteed things that they are getting in SFUSD. So I encourage you to author legislation that will make that more visible for our community. Thank you.
Of Mary L. Booker Leadership Academy. So if you support denying it, you vote yes. If you support not denying it, you support, you say no. So roll call, please.
About you.
I am
You were
apologizing for those that didn't
You
get a
were
chance to
rude.
speak,
You were rude.
and we organized
You
it
were
so that it was
rude.
fair.
You
Thank
were
Ms.
rude.
Marshall.
You
We're going
were
on-
rude.
We're going on to the next item.
Shame on you.
Thank you.
I will be back every board meeting to make sure to talk about you. You
Great.
are rude.
Thank you. So item
Shame on
2,
you.
next is the approval of board
Shame on
policy
you.
3110.
Shame on you.
I hope. Joanne Abernathy. Melanie Diaz-Gomez.
Last time I was here in this boardroom, I stood before 12 PAR panelists in May 2013. This is how I began my presentation. Both parties agree that the principal objective of evaluation is to assess teacher performance in order to maintain and improve the quality of education in the district. This objective is best met in an atmosphere of mutual respect, shared knowledge of the evaluation process, and trust between the parties to the evaluation. At that time, the UESF president said, "You are the first person in PAR to ever receive more than 1-4, exceed standards on the California standards for the teaching profession." I believe in the PAR system because,
I'm sorry, excuse me. I'm sorry, could you just tell me your name again?
my name is Lisa Ann Lee.
Okay, thank you.
I believe in the system, in the PAR system, perhaps because I successfully exited PAR, as demonstrating high performance levels on the CSTP. The contract states that a teacher may only participate in PAR once. They made an exception for me to be in PAR twice, because I was told, someone up there likes you. And yet I was repeatedly given needs improvement or unsatisfactory by my principal, despite 11 years of teaching in the same grade level at a school which became a California distinguished school in 2014. Another person way up there said, "For some reason you do well when you're being evaluated by your PAR coach, but not when you're being evaluated by your principal. You've been in PAR twice. We can't keep putting you in PAR, it's expensive." So what did they do with me? The year after, they issued a 90-day dismissal. That is why I'm asking for your investigation and reevaluation of the evaluation process and PAR. For starters, principals sign evaluations under penalty of perjury, and a teacher may seek another pair of eyes with a professional advocate. During jury duty instructions, a Superior Court judge will read, "Everyone is biased. We must avoid subjectivity. We must be objective. Everything in life is open to some possible doubt, whether real or imaginary." You get the picture. And by the way, do you know why I know that my principal was not accountable to the process? Because he never said congratulations on passing PAR.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hello, and thank you to the San Francisco School Board and Dr. Matthews for the opportunity to speak tonight. My name is Margaret Reyes, and I'm a teacher here in San Francisco Unified, and I am an employee, and my number is 18505. I'm here to officially request that the UESF SFUSD partners act in compliance with the Education Code and form an evaluation committee. There is a need for staff members to have a committee to appeal when an employee believes that the evaluation process is being abused. The current grievance process is not serving the purpose. I can assure you that the person who makes rulings on grievances, the Director of Labor Relations, and the PAR Director, and a person in HR that I don't even know, were all involved and blind CC'd during my 2016-2017 evaluation process. How can Labor Relations make a ruling on an evaluation grievance if she herself was part of the evaluation? I'm here to appeal to the board to allow staff members to have an outside labor advocate who is not part of the SFUSD UESF partnership be a part of the evaluation process if that staff member chooses. I'm here to appeal to the board to make it mandatory for evaluators and administrators to sign evaluations under penalty of perjury. I also request that all administrators attend bias training, as that the board has been aware since December 26, 2017 via whistleblower email that told you that various groups are being evaluated differently. You have never refuted that data or the email or the whistleblower letter. Furthermore, the current PAR co-chair has published accessible notes from the playground in which he makes multiple references to various female teachers. He makes direct comments about women's age, years of teaching, and body size, and not so subtly implies that these women's ability to perform their classroom requirements are impeded by their age, years of service, and body size. I hope that the board will begin to demand that administrators model fair and honest inclusive practices, and I hope you will see that an evaluation committee is not only part of the law, but it is also needed. Thank you for your time.